Bonjour. So today our topic is the pronoun e. And yes, we do pronounce it e. It does kind of work like a vowel in French. And it kind of goes along with all of the other objects, the direct and the indirect objects that we've learned already. So speaking of, let's go ahead and review those real fast. Okay, so the first ones we learned way back when were our me, te, nous, and vous. Remember, our me, te, nous, and vous, these are the only four that can be both direct and indirect. Okay, so remember the me, if it's direct, it's going to be me. If it is indirect, then it is going to be to me. If it is the te, it's the you when we're using the to form. If it's the indirect, then it is going to be the to you. If it is nous, us, and to us, direct and indirect. Vous, of course, is the you when we're using the vous form. So then it would be you to you, whether it be direct or indirect. Okay, so once again, those are the only ones that can be both. Now, the next lesson we learned was our le, la, and le. Okay, so the le, la, le, those are the rest of our directs. So remember, the le is going to be him or it if the thing is masculine. The la is going to be her or it. Again, if the thing is feminine. And remember, these two can also go to L apostrophe if that next word starts with a vowel. Now, lay is going to be them, whether it be people or things. So if you want to say, I bought them at the grocery store or I saw them at the movies, well, then once again, them, people or things. Okay, so these these three here can be people or things. Okay, so now the lui and leur, then we have the rest of our indirect. And remember, this is always going to be a plus a person or people. Okay, so lui is going to be to him or to her. The leur is going to be to them. And once again, these are always going to be people. Okay, so again, we've talked about the combination, the me, te, nous, and vous, la, la, le, lui, and la. We did some practicing on how to put two of those together in the sentence. If you are still concerned with that, if you are still confused with that, please go back to the previous video where I talked about that, where I talked about lui and la and how to combine them. Okay, if you still have questions, please reach out to me. Okay, now this e is going to work like the same thing. Okay, but most of the time e is going to be replacing a prepositional phrase, and we're going to be talking more about these prepositional phrases of what in the world a preposition is in case you don't remember from English class. Okay, I've got a list of them here. Now, so if it does that, if it replaces a prepositional phrase, it can usually be translated as there. Okay, but e isn't always translated as there because other times it replaces a plus a thing. So do you remember how I told you that lui leur is a plus people? Well, then a plus a thing is going to be replaced with e. Now, that's what I said. Remember, lui leur replaces a plus people. So if it's a plus something, it's either going to be lui or leur or me, te, nous, vous, or e. Okay, now let's talk more about these prepositions. Okay, first things first, if you have your packet or if you want to pull up a packet and write that down, these are the prepositions that are on the top of the packet. Honestly, I just went ahead and copied and pasted them from the packet. So we're going to be talking about definitions. So if you do not have the packet printed out in some way or pulled up in some way, just go ahead and write these down in your notes because there is a spot for these on the top of the packet. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my handwriting pretty neat, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, first things first, once again, we have a, so this is going to mean to or at, okay? To or at, and guys, we learned that way back in French 1, okay? Now remember, O is if it is masculine singular, okay? And that is going to be to the or at the, and we're still talking about the place, like to the movies or at the cafe. Now, oh, and of course we have Allah, by the way. And Allah, if you want to add that, that is also going to be, here, we'll go ahead and add it in here. Allah is going to be if it is feminine singular, and once again, it's the to the or at the, but if the place is feminine, like à la bibliothèque or à la piscine. Now, oh is again going to be the plural of this. That is going to be the a plus le, because you remember up here, o is a plus le. We do not say either of those, okay? So the O is going to be to the or at the if that thing or place or whatever we're talking about is plural. Now, après, hopefully we know that. Après is after, okay? Autour de is around. Now, once again, this is literally around, like the dog is running around the tree. It's like you're going in a circle. This isn't going to be around like, oh, I'll be at your house around 6 o'clock. No, it's not that type of around. It is literally encompassing something. It is around, okay? So avant or avant de, of course, that is going to be before, okay? Avec, well, hopefully we know by now, is going to be with. Chez is the house of. Okay, and again, we learned that back in French 1. Contre is against. Okay, dans, we should know is in, like inside of something, like in the box or in my pocket or in her purse. Derrière, hopefully we remember from French 1, is behind, like behind the door or behind the car. Devant is the opposite of that, so that's in front of, like I parked in front of the garage. En is another way to say in, okay? Entre is between. So I am sitting between my two best friends or something like that, okay? Loin de, we did talk at the end, the beginning of the year about this one. It is far from. Par is by. Près de is the opposite of loin de, so that's near or close to. Sans is the opposite of avec, so sans is without. Sous, hopefully we remember from French 1, is under. So is the opposite of that, so that's on, like my book is on the table. And vers is toward, like I'm walking toward the door. Okay, so again, if you need to pause the video right now just to get these definitions down or put them on your packet, whatnot, but here are all those definitions. Now, this is not an exhaustive list of prepositions. These are just the ones that are very common. Again, I can be here all day long giving you French prepositions, but that's not a very good use of our time. Okay, so some of these we are going to be seeing, we are going to be looking out for. So when you're doing this packet, these are the types of things that you are going to be looking for. That is that prepositional phrase that we are going to replace with E. Okay, all right. Now, replacing things with E, guys, it follows the same rule of placement that we have learned and practiced with all the others, with me, te, nous, and vous, le, la, les, and lui, and leur, okay? Remember, that rule is it goes before the conjugated verb, unless there's an infinitive. If there is an infinitive, then it goes before the infinitive, okay? So nothing has changed. It goes before the conjugated verb. It still goes inside the ne pas sandwich if there is one. It goes before the helping verb if it's in passé composé. But if there's an infinitive, it all goes before the infinitive. All right, so let's take a look at some of these examples here. Okay, now I've given you a few examples of a plus a thing, and then we'll do some examples of the prepositional phrase. Okay, so first things first. Je réponds au téléphone. I respond to the phone. Okay, so remember, this O is the a plus the le because telephone is masculine. Okay, so in English, we usually say I answer the phone, but I respond to something. Okay, in French, it's always répondre à. So I respond to the phone. Basically, I answer the phone. So we are going to be replacing this. This is our a plus a thing. So when we go to replace au téléphone, we're going to replace it with E. Okay, now E, we're only left with two words. And I told you, the rule is it goes before the verb. So this is our verb. So we are going to draw our little arrow right there, and then it is going to be, you see how E is working like a vowel? So that means it is going to be j'y réponds. Basically, I answer it. Okay, j'y réponds. So remember, this is one time when it's a plus a thing, when the E cannot be translated as there. You don't say I answer there. Okay, you say I answer it or I respond to it. Okay, but once again, it does work like a vowel. E is a part-time vowel in French, so it goes before that verb, and so that's why it goes to J apostrophe, because like I said, it's working like a vowel. Okay, j'y réponds. Let's look at one more. Now, nous obéissons aux lois. So you can see there's that preposition of au. Loi in French are laws. Okay, so basically in French, you obey to the laws. You are obedient to the laws. So no, nous obéissons aux lois. So this is what we were replacing with e. So I'm going to go ahead and write my little e up at the top so I know that that's what I'm replacing. Now, once again, we are not rewriting this. Okay, so really we're only left with two words here. Nous obéissons. Obéissons is my verb. So then we're going to put the e pronoun right before the verb. So then that's when it ends up nous y, there's it is, obéissons. Nous y obéissons is we obey them, basically. So again, I told you, here's another time when the e cannot be translated as there, because you don't say we obey there, it's we are obedient to them or we obey them. Okay, so that is a plus a thing. And again, when you are replacing it, do not rewrite it. The e goes before the verb. Okay, now let's look at some of these prepositional phrases. Okay, so le livre est sur la table. And hopefully by now we all know, hopefully, that this means le livre est sur la table, the book is on the table. Okay, so where's our prepositional phrase? Where is this book that we can say, oh yeah, the book is there. So there is our preposition of sur. So this whole thing is that prepositional phrase that we're talking about. So le livre est sur la table. The book is on the table. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that with e. Once again, when I replace it, I'm not rewriting it. So here we only have with the book is. Well, is my verb. So again, the rule says it's going before the verb. So I'm going to put it right there. And that's why we end up with le livre y est. The book is there. Okay, let's do another one. So, je mets les carottes dans la soupe. I put the carrots in the soup. So where are we putting the carrots? We're putting them in the soup. So this dans la soupe, there is our prepositional phrase. It's referring to a place. Where are you putting them? In the soup. Okay, so dans la soupe. Now we do have a direct object here. What am I putting in the soup? The carrots. So at some point in the future, we are going to be dealing with that direct object as well as the dans la soupe. But for right now, we are just working, we are just practicing with E. So again, dans la soupe is my prepositional phrase. That is referring to the place. I am not rewriting it. I am going to replace it with E. Now, I'm left with je mets les carottes. Okay, je mets les carottes. Where's my verb? Because again, the rule says it goes before the verb. So mets is my verb. Oh, and I'm clicking buttons that I shouldn't be. And there is my, that's where it should go. Okay, now remember, it does kind of work like a vowel. So we're going to go ahead and combine it with the je. So instead of je y, it's going to be j'y. J'y mets les carottes. I put the carrots there. Okay, j'y mets les carottes. I put the carrots there in the soup. Okay, another one. Ils vont au supermarché. Now this is very simple, hopefully. All right, ils vont au supermarché. They are going to the supermarket. So there's my place, au supermarché. Again, my only choice here is to replace it with e. Once again, when I go to replace it, I am not rewriting it. I am only left with two words here. Ils vont. Vont is my verb. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in front of the verb, and then it ends up being ils y vont. There's my e. They are going there. So by the way, this is like anything with these prepositions that are not the prepositions, the pronouns, is that you still have to say what you're talking about. I can't just come up to you and say ils y vont, ils y vont. Oh, they're going there. because you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, or where they're going. So it does need to be established in the context of the conversation or the question of where they're going. So you can't just start automatically putting E in everything. Okay, so maybe if I want to say, hey, are they going to the supermarket this afternoon? Yeah, they're going there. Just so we're not so repetitive. Are they going to the supermarket? Yeah, they're going to the supermarket. Okay, just replace it. Okay, one more. Now, nous regardons un film chez Pierre. So we are watching a movie at Pierre's house. So here's my preposition. That means that this is my prepositional phrase referring to a place. Where are they watching the movie? Pierre's house. Okay? So, nous regardons un film chez Pierre. So chez Pierre is what's going to be replaced with the E. Again, if we are replacing it, we are not rewriting it. Now we're left with nous regardons un film. The rule says it goes before the verb. Regardons is my verb, so we're going to put in that E right there. So then it ends up being nous y regardons un film. We are watching a movie there. So that E is referring to Pierre's house. Okay? So again, it's actually maybe a little easier because E, we only have one choice. We are only replacing stuff with E. It's not like we're having to decide between le, la, le, or Louis and la, or whatever. The only choice is E. Okay, we just have to be able to find these prepositional phrases. Okay, all right, just one more slide and we will be done. Okay, oops, we got one more, sorry, we got one more example. So, vous allez à Paris en juin. So now, I've got a few different words here, à Paris. So where is my prepositional phrase referring to a place? Where's my place? It is going to be à Paris. Don't worry about en juin, because that's answering the when. We want to answer where. Okay, so vous allez à Paris en juin. Once again, if we are taking it out and replacing it with E, we are not rewriting it. Here is my verb, so that means it is going to be right here. We're leaving en juin alone. We're not replacing it. We're not doing anything. All right, so then it's going to be vous y allez en juin. So if I want to say, hey, when are they going to Paris? Oh, they're going there in June. Okay, and that's exactly what this says. Vous y allez en juin, or sorry, you guys are going in June. So again, this E is referring to Paris. There's that. Now I think it's time for the next slide. Yes, okay. Now, same rules apply for the negative. Guys, like I said this at the beginning, okay? It goes inside the ne pas sandwich. So if I say, je ne vais pas à la plage, I'm not going to the beach. So where's my place? There's my place. À la plage. I'm going to replace à la plage with E. Again, I am not rewriting it if I am replacing it. So now I'm left with je ne vais pas. I just said it goes inside the ne pas sandwich in front of the verb. So that means it's going there and we're breaking up this. So je n'y vais pas. And again, it works like a vowel, so that's why I'm making it ni and not ne. Je n'y vais pas. No. It's just je n'y vais pas. So are you going to the beach? I'm not going there. Okay. All right, now, same rules apply for the passé composé. Remember, in the passé composé, it goes in front of the whole verb. It goes in front of that helping verb. Okay, so, elle a mis son portable dans son sac. She put her cell phone in her bag or in her purse. So, where's the place we're talking about? The portable, the cell phone, is not the place. That's actually the direct object, okay? But where did she put her phone? She put it in her purse. So, dans son sac, there's my prepositional phrase. I am replacing it with E, and again, I am not rewriting it, so I'm left with elle a mis son portable. Now, I have to put it in front of the verb. Now, remember, this is the whole verb. It goes in front of that helping verb, so there's my little arrow, okay? So when I go to rewrite it, elle y a mis son portable, and I know that's weird to kind of have those two next to each other. Elle y a mis son portable, so she put her phone there. That's okay. All right. That's exactly what we need to do. Elle y a mis son portable. By the way, if we do need to make this negative, the ne pas would go around that helping verb. So then it would go there. So it would be elle n'y, a pas mis son portable. Okay. One more example. Now, same rules apply for sentences with an infinitive. Once again, if you need to rewind back to that slide with the rule or look back in your notes from February or whenever we started this, it's the same thing, okay? It goes before the conjugated verb. Look, it's gone in front of the conjugated verb in both of these, unless there's an infinitive. If there's an infinitive, then it goes before the infinitive. So, le chat va dormir sous le lit. The cat is going to sleep under the bed. So here is my infinitive. There's my conjugated verb, okay? So where's the cat going to sleep? Under the bed. So when we are talking about a place, there's our prepositional phrase, okay? Le chat va dormir sous le lit. Again, we are not rewriting it. We are replacing it with e, and it's going to go in front of the infinitive. So then it's the cat is going to sleep there. And there's my there, okay? Le chat va y dormir. Okay, well, that is it for E. So now hopefully you have those definitions on the top of your packet, and you can go ahead and start those exercises in the rest of the packet. Okay, if you do have any questions, feel free to watch this video as many times as you need to. If you are still confused, please reach out. I am more than happy to help you understand this.